Slash Trax ready, set, let's go!
Good evening, and welcome to episode number 18 of Slash Trax Action News. I'm Alex Vanover.
And I'm Josh LaRue.
Josh, it's nice to be back in the Slash Trax News studio, live via Master Evil's prison cells that he provided for us. We're both here live via satellite from our cells to bring to the Slashaholics episode number 18 of Slash Trax Action News. I'm back. You're back. Feels good to be back.
My hair's back. The Crystal Pepsi's back.
We're back. Your hair never went anywhere, first of all.
No, it's on my back now.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I had a friend growing up whose neck hair grew so heavily underneath his ear and around his neck that when he grew sideburns, it wrapped around his ear and attached to his neck hair, and it looked like he had a hair football helmet. Like, you know how there's like an ear hole?
Yeah.
Like, his ear was surrounded by hair because it like attached from the neck back area around the sideburn and beard hair area.
He's watching right now going, you motherfucker.
Good, I hope he is watching. He can leave mean comment of the week, talk shit down in the comments right below. And if you're in our comments below, Josh has attached our new business email, which is slashtrax2020@gmail.com. And in case any of you want to send us some email comments, feedback about the show, if you're interested in partnering with the show, maybe you want to sponsor us. Maybe you have some sort of idea you'd like to work with us in the future, go ahead and write us an email at slashtrax2020@gmail.com. You can also write into the show with that email, slashtrax2020@gmail.com, and ask questions to Josh or I. Maybe ask questions for the show. Maybe give us ideas or topics, and if we think they're funny, if we think they're interesting, maybe they'll show up in a future episode.
But if you're demanding that I narrate certain books and it's like the 12th time you've asked me to, and I've already told you it's on the list, just save it. I got it. The reins, I got it.
Are you referring to the guy, Josh, who is a troll without knowing that he's a troll, and he also is the most pushy fan that we've ever had on the channel? And I don't know if he knows that he's doing it. It almost feels like it's a wink deal. Like he knows what he's doing, but it's coming across so vaguely that I don't know if he's being a dick or not, so I can't really say anything to him.
He's getting that close to being blocked. I've told him he'll comment on videos that have nothing to do with narrations.
That's the one.
Narrate the reins. Let me know when you're going to do it. Your son can voice a character. Be sure to let me know. Hope to hear it soon.
That's bizarre.
Read it.
That's bizarre. There's two things that there's more than two things. The one thing that really bothers me is, first of all, your son is a kid, and he's going to be a kid. He's going to school. He's got a starring role as the rodeo clown on Slash Trax, a highly successful, just huge show on the channel. By the way, Scream 3 right now is on pace for 30,000 views in 5 days. Rodeo clown's a huge part of that, so that he's busy, okay, first of all. Number two, Josh and I have day jobs. We have lives. Josh has a wife. I have a girlfriend. Josh has kids. We're busy. We have stuff going on. We appreciate you, giving us feedback and stuff. But when you tell us to do something, that's going to make us not want to do it. So that's number two. And number three, just telling us how to do it. Like, we do this because it's fun, right? We do it because it's fun, not because, Joe Blow, whatever, said, hey, this is how you're going to do it. This is how I want you to do it. And Josh kind of broached the topic about this guy. Go ahead and read the book. But it's like, dude, he wants Josh to narrate the book so bad for the channel. He's obviously a fan of said book, so he's already probably read the book. So why does he want the damn book narrated so bad if he's already read it?
Maybe it's like I'm an ASMR for him or something, I don't know. But here's the deal. I put it on my list. It's there. But if the comment pops up again, it may disappear from the list. I heard you. It's on there. I don't know when I'll get to it. I don't put books out as often anymore because there's like 65 available on the channel. I'm pacing the narrations. I'm doing Ash versus Freddy right now, a fan book, which is a lot of fun. Check that one out. I've got the prologue and the first 2 chapters available. It's already hit almost 800 views in a couple days, so it's doing good. Check that out. Check out all the other books I got. Your books that you asked for are on the list. That's the best I can do right now. I cannot give you a date. But please, I don't want to comment, but ordering me around and like being pushy isn't the way to do it. Just enjoy the channel. Have fun.
So that being said, let's get into just a little bit of channel news real quick. So Josh has got the Freddy versus Ash thing going for the narrations, which, by the way, the views are way up for his narrations. And for all the people that tell him or tell us not to do Slash Trax, just stick to narrations, don't do the podcast. When Josh and I started the podcast and the Slash Trax movie riff, show, and we're going to do a review show. I know we keep talking about it, and we've got a bunch of other things planned. We do interview shows. The interview with Andre Gower from Monster Squad has almost 30,000 views, or excuse me, almost 24,000 views in like 12 days. We've got a lot of irons in the fire, but all those things are bringing other eyeballs to the narrations. So it's helping the narrations. So, he didn't stop doing them, but he's got tons and tons of them. Just, hold tight. There's a lot of stuff coming up. We didn't forget our roots. And, that being said, Josh, let's get into nice comment, mean comment to start the show off.
Yeah, that's why we're called the Slash Trax Network. Lots of cool stuff on here. And these comments can come from any video on the network.
Mm-hmm.
So where did our first good comment come from?
All right. Nice comment for the nice comment, mean comment sandwich. All right, so this is from the Season 3, Scream 3, Slash Trax season premiere. This was funny. Probably the best MST3K clone on YouTube. And it's from Zahara Sahin. And, that's a really nice compliment. That's very... Because there are a lot of clones of MST3K out there, and for him to think that we're the best, not bad. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's big time.
I haven't seen a lot of them that do like the wraparounds and everything. They usually just like play a movie or clips of a movie. Yeah. We love doing it. We put a lot of it's tongue in cheek. It's corny. It's supposed to be, and we're glad you appreciate that. We're a clone.
Yeah. Somebody said this wasn't one of the comments I wrote down, but somebody said you guys must have so much fun filming these episodes, and then I wrote back. I was like, oh, absolutely. And we're having a good time because we're not doing it for the money. Yeah. Because there is no money. So
no dinero.
Yeah. So we do it because we like to do it. We do it because we like to help people have some entertainment in their workday, in their lives, everything. The world is a tough place these days. Gas prices, grocery prices, all this crap. So if we can help your day go just a little bit better and entertain you and take your mind away from all the doldrums and all the stuff that's going on, that's awesome. And that's an honor that we can do that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if anybody listening, speaking of no money, if you would like to support the network, the channel here, go to the Patreon. The link's right there in the description, and it should be on the screen. That's the best way to support the channel. Monetizing the channel is like really hard to do because we have a lot of copyright stuff with the riffing and with the narrations, and also once you monetize a channel, YouTube is like really hard and will give you strikes for just some of the stuff we talk about here on the podcast would probably get us deplatformed, demonetized. So if you want to support the channel, that is literally the best way to do it. Right there on the screen and in the description, Patreon. You can do it for as low as $1 a month, and we'd really appreciate that.
Yeah, and if you do the Patreon, Josh and I weren't joking, there is going to be exclusive content. We are going to do an exclusive wrestling show at least once a month for all Patreon members. I know we were asked in the comments, like, is it going to be available for people that can't afford it? Probably not to begin with, probably for a while, because that's kind of the carrot we're dangling for people to, be incentivized to, start out with Patreon. And if you can get the extra show for $1 a month, it would absolutely be worth it. So it's going to be some really good content. Mean comment, Josh. Let's go to mean comment.
Oh, God.
And this is kind of what we were talking about earlier. No, nope, nah, just stop. Bad as the podcast. Just narrate. And this is from Bahadur. And that's on the Scream 3 Slash Trax season premiere. And he's telling Josh to cut out everything, just narrate, and be his little bitch boy and read the books like a good narrator should.
Like Daryl on Walking Dead, I ain't nobody's bitch. You know what? I have more fun, honestly, being able to be more creative. I have a ton of fun narrating, especially playing Freddy and Chucky and Ash and all that. It's a lot of fun. But getting to do the podcast and the Riff Show with Alex and, even the Out of Print Slashers show, all that stuff, getting to actually branch out and do original content is a lot of fun for me. And it's what I love to do. It's what me and Alex love to do. We're not going to stop. But if you want to keep leaving a mean comment on everything we do, hey, it helps the algorithm. So keep on watching.
Yeah, thank you. Leave as many mean comments as you want. I actually like when people leave mean comments because it helps me fill out the show format for the next week. Because we don't get a lot of mean comments anymore. We used to get a lot. Like when the channel first started to really start kind of blowing up a little bit and bubbling about 6 or 7 months ago, I was a little more sensitive in those days because I wasn't used to it. Not only was I not used to it, but I didn't even know how to deal with it because it's so weird to have. The internet's like someone's yelling in your kitchen window, and I can either choose to close it or leave it open. So I didn't know what to do because it's like, wow, people are watching the show, but they fucking hate it. So how do I deal with that?
For years, not years, but from the time I started narrating, I had some trolls and people that would say mean things. Just the other day, somebody commented on the Halloween narration of the original novelization.
Yeah.
And I don't even know who they thought they were gonna get a response from because there's like 300 comments on that book, and they're all positive. But he's all like, "This dude sounds like somebody from Bob's Burgers or something when he does the girl voice. Oh, the music's too loud. So he's George W. Bush as the judge." And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry that my music's too loud and my voices are bad, but hey, here's a link. I actually found this book for you, a used copy. It's only $299 on Amazon. It's a great deal, actually, because this book's usually $800 or $1,000, and you won't have to listen to my annoying Bob's Burgers voice or whatever. And he abruptly deleted his comments. So I think he didn't realize that I actually read the comments and I'm the narrator and do all that. It spooked him apparently, but yeah, dude. His name was let's see here, Mop John or something, Wop John or something. It was like WOP John. So yeah, that was a mean comment I wanted to throw out. I don't think anybody was going to back you up on that, buddy. Over 300 comments, all positive. People actually appreciate what I do.
Mop John. You know what he can do with that comment? He can just go straight to the nearest John and start mopping that bitch. All right? Take your foul comments and your bullshit and take it to the toilet and flush it.
Learn some class.
Yeah, dude. If Josh is trying to help you have access to something that costs hundreds of dollars, especially in an economy that we're in right now, and you're going to spit in his face, you can fuck right off. Let's go into nice comment.
Sweet.
And this will end the segment right here. And this is a really nice one. So this is referring to Getting Sidetracked number 4, our latest interview episode with Andre Gower, the star of Monster Squad, which, by the way, we dropped 2 weeks ago. It's over 23,000 views and climbing. So this interview is over 2 hours long, by the way, so it's a longer one. So the guy says, "I could have kept listening. Was very fun and very informative." And the name's Simi. So he said he could have kept listening, and the interview was over 2 hours long. So that's really high praise.
Yeah, thank you. He might have been one of the ones that went and watched the Adam Marcus one after because its numbers jumped up like 1,000 or 1,500.
Like 2,000. It went up from 2.5. Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 now. So the Adam Marcus interview, the director, writer, creator of Jason Goes to Hell, that interview went from 2,500 views to over 4,500 views just from Andre's interview being popular on the show. So,
and a little announcement: it's most likely whenever his documentary Parts of Darkness drops. It's a documentary on the making of Jason Goes to Hell. He's probably going to come back and have another discussion with us on getting sidetracked.
Oh.
Yeah, so we'll have a follow-up to that interview. That one was like you said, like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
You don't realize it because it flows so good.
It's crazy how you can have like an open discussion with somebody, and from the moment you turn the camera on, you can feel a difference in how comfortable you are with the guest. As opposed to not being comfortable with the guest. And it makes the interview that much more fun and more watchable. So the Adam Marcus one, the Andre Gower one, Ryan Johnson from Carnosaur 2, those interviews are great. You know what else? Ira was pretty good. And I'm really happy he did the interview with us. I would have felt a little bit better about it if I didn't feel like I was talking to my doctor about a growth I had. Like I felt like when I was a little kid and I had that, paper dress on and my ass was hanging out and I'm sitting on the butcher paper in the doctor's office. I just kind of felt uncomfortable almost the entire time, but whatever.
Got a lot of information. He's a cool guy.
He is a cool guy. He's a great guy. That being said, you know what else is great? Fun facts. Let's get into them.
Fun facts. Let's do it.
All right, Josh. We might be onto something with this one, and I can see a trend or some merch happening from this one. Cannabis plants can help absorb nuclear radiation, which, so I've heard of people getting high. I've heard the strains of marijuana becoming stronger and stronger than our parents' weed was in the 60s and 70s. We've all had pot brownies maybe once or twice, maybe a pot cookie. But have you ever in your life had nuclear weed?
Nuclear grizzlies graze on that stuff, man.
They
power.
Wait a minute. They graze on it or do they smoke it?
It depends on if they're hanging out with coke bees or not. If they're hanging out with coke bees, they're all just smoking it, lacing it with the coke.
Coke bears. Coked out bears versus coked out bears on nuclear weed versus nuclear grizzlies. It's a Texas three-way handicap match. Josh, did you know that sloths don't fart?
Oh wow!
Yeah, they get a bad rap.
I watched the Goonies. I'm pretty sure he did once.
There you go!
Hey, you guys!
Baby Ruth! That guy who played Sloth in the Goonies, I'm going to butcher his name. He was Mongo in Blazing Saddles, and he was also John Methuselak or something. I think that was his name. He played in the NFL. He's passed away, so God rest his soul, but he had a brief but very important career in Hollywood. He was in 2 major classics. He was in the Goonies and Blazing Saddles. So, yeah, a huge part of our childhood. And most people don't even know who he was or that he was in the NFL or whatever. Josh, you've been bad.
No, Alex has been bad, folks. I gave him one of these, which are like gold to me. Mm-hmm. And he was supposed to open it up today on the show, but he's not going to do it until the next one.
Well, I'm holding it for my wedding day or for like when if I ever have a child, like I'll have a big cigar going, maybe some nuclear weed. I'll be rolling some nuclear weed or something, and I'll break out that Crystal Pepsi.
Well, that way it'll go flat and after a while. So how about for episode 20, you crack it open for episode 20. That's okay. The milestone.
So episode 20, the next one's 19. This is 18. Yeah. Okay. And all right, and then hopefully we'll be celebrating a new sponsor by episode 20. That'd be nice.
And maybe, and if we, he's also got a Flamin' Hot Mountain Dew, and a Frost Mountain Dew, and a Duff energy drink. Yes, I thought you'd like that.
I do like that one.
If we can break 50K on this episode, the next time we break 50K on an episode, we will drink a Flamin' Hot Mountain Dew on camera.
Okay.
So there we go. We'll chug it.
God. All right, Josh. An overly active sex drive can be a symptom of rabies.
I can see that. I can see that. Just animal instincts and.
It's like, hey, we're here, Josh. You're here for your checkup. You know, you're approaching 40. Just set down on this butcher paper. I'm Dr. Ira Hayden. Want to talk to you real quick. Checking out. You know, it seems like you and your wife Beth have been getting frisky a little more. I think that's great. Get the blood flowing.
Got the tapes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Why don't you sit down, have a Duff energy drink while I look at the paperwork? All these things are good. Blood flow, health, whatever, good sex life, good marriage, happy wife, happy life. Big problem here, Josh. I think you may have rabies.
Well, of course I do.
Your penis?
I was bit by a nuclear weed rabies zombie. And,
your penis is rabid. Your penis is foam. That's not semen coming out of your penis. That is foam. You have rabies.
Instead of Old Yeller, it's like Old Tallywhacker or something.
By the way,
gotta put it down.
By the way, Slashaholics, the reason we're not partners with YouTube is because of this segment right here. We would probably
they would shut us. They would give us a strike right here for adult.
A strike right now. Josh, if you did have rabies and you did have a foaming penis, holding money in your hand can reduce stress levels as well as minimize pain. So just holding money can have those healing factors.
Wow.
And benefits. Yeah. I'd like to have a chance to hold money someday. I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I've heard stories. I've seen people do it. I've never actually had a chance to do it, but I'd like to know what that feels like someday.
Always as a kid, I wanted to swim through like a vault full of gold coins like
Scrooge.
Scrooge, but then I watched Family Guy and realized that's probably what would happen.
You just break your neck.
It's not a liquid. It's a bunch of solids.
Scrooge wore his top hat. He had cane. He had a monocle. He had the top. He had the coat. No pants on. He's diving. No, my joke's ruined because when he dove into the money bin, he wore a wetsuit, like a bathing suit. But here's another question. He's aware of what a bottom part of your clothing is, right? So why isn't he wearing pants most of the time when he's going around Duckburg?
Because all businesses ever order is no shoes, no shirt, no service. There's nothing on the sign about pants.
Yeah.
So he's like, fuck it. Nobody cares.
He's got fuck you money. At that point, he's so rich that he knows it's illegal not to wear pants in Duckburg, but he doesn't care. He just shows up to establishments and basically says, I'm here with Huey, Dewey, and Louie. None of us have pants on, and we're going to get our, ice cream or whatever the hell we're going to get, and you're not going to say a word because I'm a fucking billionaire. And I also have a pilot of a helicopter that cannot fucking fly, and he crashes he's got so much money he can afford to keep Launchpad McQuack on the payroll. He crashes his helicopter every episode.
Speaking of ice cream and Huey, Dewey, and Louie, if anybody watching this episode remembers, if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, if you remember the Huey, Dewey, and Louie ice cream bar, it was pretty big. It had all three of them on it. I think it was made by the company that made the Great White Shark ice cream bars.
I can picture it in my head right now.
Yeah, it had Huey, Dewey, and Louie on it. It was pretty big. Let me know if you ever had one, folks.
You're like, and then that same vein, if you guys have ever had any, if you still happen to have some, please send them to Slash Trax 2020 at gmail.com.
If I could have an ice cream from back then, it would be either a WWE or WWF ice cream bar. Because they have like ice cream sandwiches now made the same way those were, but they just don't taste the same. But if I could have anything from back then, it would be the Mickey's Parade ice cream bar, where it's like a white face with white, like just vanilla ice cream, with like a chocolate ice cream eye and smile. Okay. Chocolate ice cream ears, but the ears were covered in like a chocolate shell, just the ears.
Damn.
It was Mickey Mouse. He had an ice cream sandwich with Mickey on it. That was really good. It was like a big Oreo, but ice cream.
Okay.
And they had the Mickey's Parade popsicles that were shaped like Goofy, Mickey, Donald, and I think
I remember
Somebody
those
else?
specifically.
Yes, they had those, and they had a version that had ice cream in the middle, like vanilla ice cream in the middle. So they had the regular popsicles. Those, I wish we still had that stuff.
Hey, by the way, so I was going to save this for later, but let's just talk about it right now. There's two, since we're talking about things we wish we had back, McDonald's has done two things. The first thing they did is it's not officially a thing in America yet, but it was just announced on the McDonald's official Twitter account. They're bringing back the Boo Buckets from the 1980s. So the Boo Buckets, when Josh and I were kids growing up in the 80s, you could go to the McDonald's and get a Happy Meal, and you could either have a witch, a ghost, or a pumpkin. And they weren't very big, but they were just such a great design. They were really portable. I used it to trick or treat probably the first like when I was like 3, 4, or 5. Yeah. And when I got older and Halloween got very serious, I started using a pillowcase. But before that, I used the Boo Buckets. So the Boo Buckets are coming back to Canada, but they're also heavily rumored to be coming back like the third week or sometime like towards the end of the second week in October. So they're probably going to be available. And Josh, you had some knowledge you wanted to drop on the Slashaholics about McDonald's also.
Yes, but I want to finish up what you were saying, just so people are clear. There have been like buckets since then, like in the past like 10 years or so, but they've always been like Scooby-Doo or something like this.
Yeah.
What he's talking about is the G, witch and all that, pumpkin, the actual buckets from back then. It's not like Scooby-Doo buckets or Shrek buckets.
It's the ghost, the pumpkin, and the witch.
Yeah. But yeah, at McDonald's, you can also get an adult Happy Meal, Alex.
Yeah.
That comes with
very excited.
Like figures and toys that are supposed to be geared towards stuff like whenever we were kids, like Grimace, like Ronald Pals. I'm hoping eventually we can get like the little Transformer ones again, like the burger and stuff that transforms.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Fry Kids Halloween toys you could get where they had costumes?
The Fry Guys. I remember the Fry Guys who had costumes, but do you remember the McNuggets that had costumes? And like each McNugget, like one of them was like a scuba diver.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
One of them was like a scuba diver. One of them was like a rock climber.
Dracula.
Oh, those McNugget toys, to me, except for the Tiny Toons ones that turned into superheroes, were the peak of the McDonald's toys to me. Those McNugget ones with outfits were just chef's kiss. They were phenomenal. So whoever the hell did that one, way to go. Wobble wobble, in the words of Birdie or Grimace or whoever this time. Wobble wobble. Which one said that? Was that Birdie or was that no Hamburglar? It was the Hamburglar. Yep. For the win.
I feel like adult Happy Meal is going to end up in the title somewhere of the episode. But
why don't they put in? Okay, if this truly is an adult Happy Meal, how come they're not putting just a little baggie of nuclear weed in there for the kids? That's your prize.
It comes with a happy ending.
Oh wow! No, they're like you get a little dime bag of nuclear grizzly weed. You get a toy from the 80s. You might get a Boo Bucket.
And Delta 8 Chewy or something,
Yeah, it's all a little half a tab of Vicodin, something, $18.99 adult Happy Meal.
I'm going to make an admission on camera here. I tried one of those like pretty weak like stuff they can actually sell at like a smoke shop. It's like little gummies. It's like Delta 8, whatever. It's not like hardcore weed gummies. It's just like, anyways, I tried one and I haven't smoked weed or anything since I was really young, and Beth was like, well, do you feel relaxed or anything? I was like, no, I don't think I feel anything. She's like, what?
Meanwhile, you're flying through the clouds like on a doghouse. You're the Red Baron from Peanuts.
I just kept getting closer to the TV, like, I'm good.
I've been sober almost 8 years now, but when I wasn't sober, every once in a while I would have a pot brownie or something, and my problem was when I would drink, I'd want to do both. So I can't do either now. But when I did used to partake in those things, I remember going to play frisbee golf one day, and I didn't accidentally, I did it. I had a pot brownie, and then I had another one, and I had them back to back, like super quick. We went to play Frisbee golf, and we played the first 3 holes, and then it started to kick in. So we played 18 holes. But after hole 3, I thought we were just playing hole 3 over and over and over again. I asked my friend, I said, why are we playing hole 3 again? And he's like, dude, we're like on hole 14 right now. You are out of your mind high right now. You are in the stratosphere right now. I thought we played the same hole 18 times, dude. And then we went to see the movie later that night when I'm still super high. We went to see Taken 2.
Oh, no.
And not even being high could save that movie. That movie was like Liam Neeson, like the bad guy was the guy whose son kidnapped Liam Neeson's daughter in the first movie, but Liam Neeson killed his son, so now the guy wants to kill Liam Neeson because he killed his son who was a bad guy. So not even being high could save that movie's plot. It was that, by the way, that should be on Trash Trax. We should definitely do Taken 2 at some point.
There's also a Taken 3 and a TV series.
God, man.
So I've been sober for, since 2010. I broke my back in the day and I had a pill problem. I've talked about this openly on the channel before. And now I feel bad that I chewed that gummy. I didn't realize it was like breaking that. I have anxiety problems, so I thought it would relax me. I just wanted to see because it's not like the stuff you go and have to have a card for. You just go
If you didn't knowingly, like if you didn't know that it was in the same vein, I wouldn't beat yourself up too much.
I didn't think it was. I thought it was just bullshit because you could just go and get it at a smoke shop, like a cigarette smoke shop. I was like, oh, this can't be anything. Before we move on, I wanted to show this off to the channel. You can get this shirt at the Teespring store. Right now, we're going to be adding a lot of new designs for Slash Trax very soon. This is one of the original designs for 80s Slasher Librarian. I was wearing it. You can get that at Teespring. There's a link in the description.
Nice.
And we want you to keep an eye out because we're going to be adding some designs, maybe even a Nuclear Grizzly design, right?
Yeah, Nuclear Grizzlies, Nuclear Gummies, Nuclear THC. And then, hey, before we get into the last fun fact, I just want to say, don't beat yourself up too much. We all make bad choices and stuff. If you knew me in the past, I was the king of fucking up. So don't beat yourself up too much. Life is all about falling off the horse and getting right back on top of it. If you stay down, you're beat. Okay, so if you choose to stay down after a mess up,
I've got no desire to try it again. It's like this can't be good. If they just sell them to anybody, I was like, this can't be. And it just is mostly relaxing. But yeah, I felt like a teenager, like afraid to say anything. Just I'm gonna say it's good.
So I'm wearing a Muhammad Ali shirt right now. Okay. There's
Okay.
Muhammad Ali. All right. So the last fun fact is about Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
Muhammad Ali enjoyed performing magic tricks. However, his Muslim faith forbade him from deceiving others. So he would actually have to explain the tricks after he performed them. That would take all the fun out of it. And I wonder if he also did that if he was trying to sleep with women on the road during his boxing matches. He's like, after he tricked them into bed, like wined and dined them, got them into bed. Did he explain to them how he got them into bed and why it was wrong after he climaxed? Is that how that works?
He's like, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, but I'm not really floating like a butterfly or stinging like a bee because I'm a human and they're a bee and they're a butterfly.
And it's wrong. I shouldn't have done it. I wanted to have sex. I'm sorry.
I'm still waiting to hear the explanation for the disappearing trick he did.
What do you mean?
He's like, he did like a disappearing act and nobody's seen him for years, man.
Oh, you stupid. He's passed away, and he's a legend.
Oh, okay. He is a legend. He was fucking amazing. I think I can make you laugh and at least a couple fans laugh real quick. It's a quick little joke. Throw it into the show here. We haven't done a show in a while, and I'm having a blast. So Alex,
Yeah.
this magician, since you brought up magicians, was on a cruise ship, right? And he got a gig for 3 months on a cruise ship.
God, 3 months on a cruise ship?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And every night that he would do his act, there was this one fan in the crowd that had this parrot. And every time he would do a trick, the parrot would give away how the trick was done. You know, he'd pull a rabbit from the hat, you know, and he'd be like, hidden pocket in the hat, Just fuck up this guy. Every trick he did, this parrot would fuck it up and give away how he did it. Well, the cruise ended up sinking. The boat sank, people died. The only survivor was the magician. And he was floating on a piece of driftwood. And the parrot survived too and was sitting there with him. And he floated in the water for 3 days, and the parrot never said a word. And finally, the parrot spoke and said, I give up. What'd you do with the boat?
God damn. Let's get into sports. let's segue.
He made the boat disappear.
Yeah, let's segue from that dad joke and let's slip right into sports. Josh, per the Fox broadcast of the Seahawks versus Lions game last Sunday, which I was, by the way, watching live because I'm in the region. I live in Oregon where the Seahawks are on every freaking weekend. It sucks. Star wide receiver DK Metcalf was carted off the field to the locker room. So he was on the cart where people usually have spine injuries, break their back, whatever. He was carted off to the locker room from the field because of a bathroom break that he needed to have. So he needed to use the bathroom, so they brought him to the bathroom on the cart.
Was it that bad? Like, if I walk, it's going to be bad, guys. You need to just carry me. Oh, too late. Carry me. Hurry, just carry me.
I've had situations where I call them buzzer beaters, where it's like you really have to go number 2, and you're literally, your pants are down around your ankles, and your ass cheeks just hit the bowl. And as your ass cheek hits the bowl, you start going to the bathroom. That's a game winner, dude. Michael Jordan never hit one that clutch. Like it's a buzzer beat. Like you literally would have shit your pants if you got there a second later.
It's like for Alex. It's like, what is it? Nicole, get the fuck out of the bathroom. Get the fuck out of the bathroom.
No, I'm telling you, man. I've had situations where it's like,
I love you, but get the fuck out of the bathroom.
Yeah, you just know you're going to be in some serious trouble if you don't get to the bathroom soon. I just think that's hilarious that he was carted back on the freaking spinal trauma cart, like the back break. You broke your back cart to take a dump.
All right.
A pair of tickets that were once used by fans to go see Michael Jordan's NBA debut, so his first game ever, have just hit the auction block. They're so rare that experts are predicting that they could sell for up to $300,000
a piece or together.
I think together. It didn't specify if it was they come as a pair or if it's single, but $300,000 for some ticket stubs. Holy shit! I used to save ticket stubs to every movie I went to when I was a kid, or concerts or any of that stuff. So. That's incredible. $300,000, Josh.
Wow. And we've got breaking news, folks.
Okay.
This just in. People have way too much fucking money. Thank you.
This just in also. The price of milk is now more than the price of gas in the state of Oregon. Dude.
I think spending excess money on stuff that you don't need is, like, ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, like spending $10 on a bottle of Crystal Pepsi from Canada to get that Canadian Crystal Pepsi going on, you rich sumbitch. Last sports story of the show. Texas A&M, the football version, Texas A&M, paid Appalachian State $1.25 million to play them. So one of their non-conference games, they said, hey, Appalachian State, why don't you come over here? Our athletic department will pay yours $1.25 million. Good teams kind of do that to fill out their schedule, right? Well, Appalachian State took the $1.25 million from Texas A&M, and then they beat Texas A&M.
We'll beat you and take your money.
Isn't that hilarious?
That is hilarious.
That is
1.25 million
to lose. They paid this school $1.25 million to kick their ass.
Yeah, go back to our breaking news from a couple seconds ago. Way too much money, and all you got out of it was getting your ass kicked.
I just think that's just precious. That is
It's
just
like
great.
it's like going to Vegas. Instead of going to Vegas, just give somebody your money and tell them to kick you in the ass as hard as they can, and you can save a trip to Vegas by doing that. So.
Dude, I could have saved a trip to Vegas back in the old days by just having 2 brownies. I wouldn't even have fucking known I was there. Just take my wallet from me, give me 2 brownies, and I'll hit up the buffet, and I'm good. I'll just float around the casino for a while. Josh, we're going to get into our favorite section here, favorite topic of the night. We're going to Slash Trax Wrestling.
Let's do it.
All right. 31 years ago yesterday, the movie, the classic, the legendary film, Suburban Commando, was released in theaters. Josh, did you see Hulk Hogan play an outer space bounty hunter in 1991?
Yes, I did, and I got to see The Undertaker as a kid. I was like, it's The Undertaker! When I watched it on video, because I think that's how he met Hogan and got his gig with Vince, was through that movie, because he was working in WCW at the time as Mean Mark Callis.
Yeah, he's one of the skyscrapers, too.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that movie, man. Christopher Lloyd was great. Hogan was fun. And
Shelley Duvall.
Drinking the antifreeze. But I heard about the movie by watching. I used to rent the Hulkamania tapes all the time.
Yeah.
And pay-per-views and stuff. And on one of the Hulkamania tapes, it shows him on the set of Suburban Commando. So that's how I found out about it. And I actually think I saw that in theaters with my parents. My poor parents had to sit through that. Mr. Nanny was good too. But yeah, Suburban Commando, man, I love that movie. It's still fun to watch today. And hearing The Undertaker talk at the end, it's like a little kid's voice.
Yeah. And Hogan's like, "You're a dead man, Ramsey." No wonder these guys never talk. I remember when Christopher Lloyd shows up and he gets his somebody rips his door off, or he almost gets his door ripped off, and he's like, "You almost ripped my door off, Colonel." I still quote that to this day. 30 years later, that's the most random movie quote I think that I drop on people. People have no idea what I'm talking about. And then the other quote from that film is where Hogan goes over to the guys who were working on the drag racer across the street, and they were screwing with Christopher Lloyd the entire film. So Hulk Hogan's renting a room from Christopher Lloyd, so he goes over to confront them, and he's like, "You know what I'm gonna do to you?" And they're like, Hogan goes across the street, and the guys are like, "You know what we're gonna do to you?" And Hogan's like, "You're gonna break my bones. You're gonna beat the crap out of me." And it's like, "Nah, it's the '90s. We're gonna sue you."
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I remember that one too.
Do you remember this one from a different movie?
Yes.
What's that smell?
Dookie.
Dookie.
Itty bitty little wieners. Battle of the tough guys. God, that guy was supposed to be WCW. They were saying that was Ted Turner without saying it was Ted Turner, because he was trying to steal Hogan.
Kurt Fuller, the character actor guy that was the bad guy, was supposed to be Ted Turner.
He's another competing guy at a different network. He didn't
know what wrestling was. The guy
blank check. Of course, Vince McMahon's going to make that character. Vince McMahon and Hogan rewrote No Holds Barred. Of course, the evil guy that's trying to steal Hogan doesn't know what wrestling is, because I'm sure Vince didn't believe that Ted Turner knew what the hell pro wrestling was.
Well, there's
read between the lines.
Ted Turner was a big wrestling fan. AOL's the reason it got taken out. He would have financed it forever. But that's a good segue to one of your other stories, talking about somebody not appreciating wrestling, right?
Yeah. So Eric Bischoff recently on his podcast, I think it's 87 Weeks. Is that what it's called? 83 weeks with Conrad. Conrad Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Conrad Thompson, by the way, is got a nice little empire of podcasts built up on his network. He's got Flair, he's got Bischoff, he's got Jim Ross, he's doing great. Anyway, on Conrad Thompson in Bischoff's podcast this week, Bischoff admitted, I'm just not that big of a fan of wrestling matches. So Eric Bischoff has came out with it. He said he's not a fan of actual wrestling matches. He says, I'm a big fan of the story and the way the show is architected, built, formulated, created. I'm a big fan of new ideas. So he's a big fan of the sizzle and not a big fan of the steak.
I can go either way with that, because, like, without Eric Bischoff, we would not have the Attitude Era in WWE. We would not have the wrestling wars that we had. So he did innovate, and maybe his love for the sizzle is what really helped, get everything going. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna promote, you got to have a respect for the actual matches themselves, because that's where the storytelling really happens. You can really tell a story and paint a picture with your match. But I'm not going to harp on him too much, because he's not a wrestling guy. He was a sales guy. He was an ideas guy, and he worked his way up and got lucky, and he did really good. He almost put Vince McMahon out of business, And so I'm not taking anything away from him, but it was disappointing to hear that he doesn't care for the matches. I'd still love to interview the guy someday. Big hero of mine.
Don't let Jim Cornette hear this story, because I'm kind of with Jim Cornette in the sense that, like, you build the storylines and you have all the sizzle and all the pomp and circumstance and all these angles and all these things to get the two people into the ring to tell a story, to have the match.
I agree with you.
In the building, right?
Yeah,
so the sizzle is just a means to an end to get the match in the ring and to have some good pro wrestling and have a reason why they're wrestling. So I think one of the biggest problems nowadays is people, Vince Russo, Eric Bischoff, all these people have fallen in love with the sizzle and the buildup of matches and the storylines that there's just so many. It's like Raw. I haven't seen as many Raw episodes where Triple H has taken over lately, but towards the end, where Vince was still running the show, you'd have a 3-hour Raw episode, and you'd have about 22 minutes of actual wrestling, if you're lucky. He
wouldn't even call it wrestling. Like, it was his role. As soon as Triple H took over, he put out a tweet, just one word: wrestling. And
because Vince wouldn't even allow people to use the word wrestling.
Shawn Michaels is running NXT right now, and apparently they're both doing really good. But I wanted it for the record. Jim Cornette is also a hero of mine.
Mine too.
As skills go, like, I took a lot from him, like with my mic skills. Him and Roddy Piper, and I took a lot of my ring work I did from people like Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. I would love to interview. I'm talking about, like, my heel character. I would take a lot. You're
putting yourself up there with some legends, Josh.
No. They were my inspiration.
Okay.
They were my inspiration for my VIP character. Yeah, I took a little bit from Rick, a little bit from Bret, a little bit from Roddy Piper, a little bit from Cornette. A little bit from HBK, but anyway, I completely respect Jim Cornette. I agree with him that the Montreal Screwjob was a work. Yeah, I know you don't agree with that. And I also agree with you and him that Bischoff is in the wrong here. Bischoff is still a hero of mine because he did a lot for the business. And even after WCW sold, whenever he was just talent for WWE, and showed up as a general manager, it was fucking huge. He was such a great heel manager, general manager. It was like 3 years,
Yeah, he was really over. He had great chemistry with Stephanie McMahon, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Bischoff was great on screen. You know what? Bischoff, before we move on to the next wrestling story, Bischoff is super talented. He has an eye for the story and what is going to get over. He single-handedly, not that he came up with the idea for the NWO, but he kind of ripped it off from Japan because they had something very similar. But he saw that and created a new thing with it in WCW and took the business to heights it's never been before or since. Wrestling has never been as popular as it was in 1996 or 1997. It just hasn't.
And, back then, both shows were pulling like a 5.9 and shit, and now the
Yeah.
show is pulling like a 1.8, 1.9.
It's
They lost millions.
Everybody on Nitro, for the most part, and everybody on Raw, at some point, could have main evented a pay-per-view. It's like everybody was so popular. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm talking, like, The Godfather would come out and get a Road Warrior pop.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
La
crazy.
Parka. People popped him like he was the Ultimate Warrior when La Parka
Yeah.
came out with a chair.
Dude,
It's
just,
what?
it was just a different time, and I hope wrestling can even get back to halfway as popular as it was, because if it does, it just makes it so much more fun for the fans of the business.
And a lot of people don't know this, but Eric Bischoff is not the one responsible for WCW's downfall.
Mm-hmm.
He did all that. Yeah, the NWO was getting stale, yes. But around the time that they were really, really kicking ass, Turner Broadcasting, the censors and stuff, told them to tone the show down to have something opposite of what the Attitude Era was, the raunchy shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, we want you to keep getting these ratings you're getting, but we need you to make it more kid-friendly. And they really tied his hands because he had a product that was working. And, they dumbed it down. They got rid of him, and then you had shit where Kevin Nash is booking himself to beat Goldberg, and, the rest is history. You've heard it a million times. But,
The Time Warner merge was basically what killed WCW, because they didn't want, when Time Warner was taking over and they merged with TNT and Turner Broadcast and all that stuff, basically they were looking at the books and they were like, shit, WCW has all these guaranteed money contracts and they're doing really, really bad. They're hemorrhaging money. They're like, this is a losing product. We don't want it. And plus they had a stigma against wrestling anyway. A lot of people didn't like wrestling. They thought it was for, whatever, losers or dirtbags or whatever. Not even seeing how popular it was the previous 2 or 3 years, but it was hemorrhaging money. And when they took over, that was it. It didn't matter what Bischoff was going to do or wanted to do. It was a done deal. Not even Ted Turner could save it, because it wasn't his deal he couldn't call the shots anymore.
He would have paid for the rest of his life to keep the show on the air if it was his choice. And, I still think Vince McMahon paid Vince Russo a shit ton of money and said, okay, after you do this and you kill WCW for me, we're going to have to play this out forever that I didn't hire you to do this. You're going to have to... I really believe that. I believe he was sent there to destroy.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that Vince not only used hush money on his paralegals, but he also used hush money on Vince Russo?
Yes, I think Vince Russo was an assassin. He was an assassin.
Listen, bro. If I'm going to do this, bro. So Vince Russo's a genius. Then he's still getting paid from WWE, and he's got his podcast, and he went and got a big contract from WCW. That's phenomenal. Good for him, man.
Anyways, what's next?
Okay, the next wrestling story. 26 years ago, last week, the WWF, speaking of WCW and WWF, Monday Night Wars, WWF debuted Fake Diesel and Fake Razor Ramon. So WCW at the time was just, we'll take Kevin Nash, we'll take Bret Hart, we'll take Scott Hall, we'll take X-Pac, we'll take everybody. We're taking all the WWE's talent.
We don't want Isaac Yankem, though.
Yeah,
I'm not calling him by his K name because he said some horrible shit. But yeah, Isaac Yankem, Jerry Lawler's evil, sadistic dentist, Glenn Jacobs, became the fake Diesel. I don't remember who the fake Razor was.
I can't.
So cringy.
It doesn't matter what his name was.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
When I was a kid, and I saw that Fake Diesel and Fake Razor Ramon were making their debut, they were billing them. WWF was billing them as actually Razor Ramon and Scott Hall. And Eric Bischoff heard about this, that they were being advertised. So he calls Scott Hall and Kevin Nash into his office, okay? And he says, what is all this I hear about Razor Ramon and Kevin Nash or Diesel coming back to WWF? And this is ridiculous. You need to keep me in the loop. I just signed you guys. What do you want, more money? And then Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were like, yeah, sure, we'll take more money.
Yeah, that's how
they got even more money. They got an even bigger contract from WWF firing back at WCW by, introducing fake Diesel and fake Razor Ramon, which Scott Hall and Kevin Nash had no part of. They were locked into a contract with WCW. Eric Bischoff thought it was a work, thought that they were leaving. They were going to get out of their contract, so he paid them even more money. Yeah. So the only thing good that came out of that was Scott Hall and Kevin Nash got even bigger paydays.
Guaranteed contracts. And from that day forward, all wrestlers pretty much got that. Before that, there's some people that only made like $200-$300 a match, even on WWF.
I just remember being a kid and I was 11 or 12 and I knew that this fake Diesel and fake Razor Ramon was horseshit and it sucked.
Yeah.
I could it had very gobbledygooker, like when the turkey on Thanksgiving at the Survivor Series, hatched out of the egg. It felt like that kind of horseshit.
Thought he was going to be the Eggman.
Yeah, or the Red Rooster or Mantar. It just sometimes the WWF when they missed. They really missed. Yeah. Big time.
Mantar pops up on Young Rock, Alex.
Oh, Mantar.
Yeah, Young Rock is sitting in the locker room before his first match against the Brooklyn Brawler. And who also happened to be that baseball player. Remember the
Knuckleball Schwartz.
Yeah, that was the Brooklyn Brawler. But he's in the locker room and Stunning Steve, the ringmaster is there next to him, Stone Cold. And he's like, "Hey, kid, at least you're not that guy." And it looks over, and Mantar's in a guy. He's trying to get through the door, but his head's too big.
Yeah.
Young Rock, check it out, folks.
That was a crap gimmick. And also, Man Mountain Rock, Duke the Dumpster Drowsy, the New Rockers, Techno Team 2000. There was just some shit back then.
Doink was a good heel. But whenever he turned face and had Dink and Wink and all that,
it wasn't Matt Bourne at that point.
Matt Bourne, that's who it was. That's the one I wrestled in Texas.
Yeah.
And he had even more sadistic face paint on when I wrestled with him, almost like Heath Ledger's Joker mixed with Doink the Clown. And he did the whole biting the ass thing like he did back then.
Yeah.
And I thought he was just going to act like it. He bit the shit out of my ass during that match, and we were in Odessa, Texas. And Doink the Clown, Matt Bourne, bit my ass hardcore. Whoever it was, pretty sure it was Matt, but yeah.
How did he get a grip on your butt cheeks when he had his cast on? Do you remember when he wore that cast, when he was just waffling? Yeah. He had the Cowboy Bob Orton arm cast, just waffling people with it. Last wrestling story of the show. And this is a gimmick and a storyline that did not miss for WWF. Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage formed the Mega Powers 35 years ago this week. The team would be together for over a year before they finally exploded at WrestleMania 5.
They never needed to be a tag team. He did not need Macho Man. Every time they did a tag match, Macho Man would end up leaving the match for some reason, and Hogan would still win. I never understood.
They would I remember the Twin Towers, specifically on Saturday Night's Main Event.
Akeem fell through the ropes. Did you see that clip?
I didn't see that, but I remember from that Saturday Night's Main Event, Elizabeth fell down, Hogan takes her to the back, and Macho Man sees that Hogan's taking Liz to the back, and then Macho finishes off the Twin Towers by himself. Goes back to the locker room, confronts Hogan. Hogan's trying to take care of Liz, and then Macho starts doing you have lust in your eyes for Liz, and you're after Liz, and that whole thing was.
I think.
Yeah, you're lusting for Liz, brother. You're the luster. You're not Hulkster. You're the luster. Yeah, Liz.
Your cream is rising to the top.
You're not dropping the big leg on her, brother. No, Mega Powers, one of the first real big angles I remember. The first being WrestleMania 3. I remember the build-up between Andre and Hogan, but I remember WrestleMania 5, the Mega Powers exploding, being huge because I was about 6 or 7 years old. I had just got the Hasbro ring from JCPenney's, and Macho Man and Hogan came with the ring. Had the WrestleMania 5 box. It was a really big deal. Even being a huge fan of both of them as a kid, I knew at the end of the day there was no way Hogan was putting Macho Man over. I just didn't even see them on the same level, even though they kind of were.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts about that?
No, back then, I was such a big Hogan mark as a kid. I ripped so many white T-shirts up. My mom got mad at me. I'd have wrestling matches with pillows and pillow buddies and stuff.
Wrestling buddies.
But yeah, man, I'm gonna try to put a clip here if I can get it in. If not, I'll at least put a link to the video in the description. During that match Alex was talking about, Big Boss Man and Akeem versus the Mega Powers. Big Boss Man and Akeem hit the ropes at the same time, and I think it's Akeem when they both hit the rope, he just falls backwards over the rope because they made the rope go down too low.
Yeah,
and he like backflips. Big O Akeem backflips out of the rope. Just falls out, and Big Boss Man kind of looks back as he's finishing his spot. It's pretty funny. I'll put a clip in the video or in the description. I knew Hogan would win. I hoped he would win.
That was speaking of the Twin Towers, Akeem. That was one of the stupidest gimmicks ever. Like,
yeah,
one of the most racist gimmicks ever. They're gonna have a white guy be the African character, whatever. Akeem the African Dream, and he's doing all these hand jive movements, and like you could never get that on TV today. No,
they were making fun of Dusty had left the American Dream, so they were making fun of him, like the way he talks and stuff. It was like a jab at him, kind of like Virgil was a jab at him, and then Vincent was a jab at Vince McMahon.
When Akeem was the one-man gang, and he was like in a biker outfit with a mohawk, and he was taking on like 4 or 5 jobbers at once, that was the gimmick that they needed to keep for him. And they also should have just had the one-man gang team up with the Big Boss Man. Yeah. It would have made way more sense. That Akeem gimmick sucked.
Did you enjoy Big Boss Man versus the Mountie, the nightstick match back in the day?
Yeah, I just recently rewatched that, and the Mountie steals the show. Like when he's going to jail, and then he's in the jail cell, and the guy is talking about, don't you just love the feel of leather on your skin? Like he's like he's being hit on by a guy in the jail cell, and he's screaming, and he's just having a hell of a time. I thought that was Jacques Rougeau carried that whole entire angle. That was good. Let's get into some horror and spooky news, man.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, Josh. Real quick hitter for the first story of the horror and spooky news. Neve Campbell, star of the Scream franchise, turned 49 this week.
Happy birthday,
Neve. Yeah, happy birthday, Neve.
We just riffed the shit out of the movie you only spent like 8 hours filming.
Yeah.
Scream 3.
That movie, Scream 3, that we riffed for the season premiere of Slash Trax, I know that we've joked around about it and stuff, but they really did a really bad job with the editing and the story. They filmed all this stuff planning to have 2 killers.
Yep.
And then they left in stuff that would like lead us to believe there was 2 killers. And then when they decided to make the change to 1 killer, all the stuff that they left in and some of the dialogue they left in made no sense, and they can't explain it away.
The killer was in jail and somehow made like 4 phone calls.
Yeah, it's a mess. It is absolutely a mess.
And then when you can tell the scene where they killed the actress that was going to play Sydney in Stab 3, when they kill her, you don't even see Ghostface. It's her dead body's laying there, and then she gets dragged off by somebody off camera. Like, you could tell it was filmed just to kill, because they hadn't filmed her death scene because she was going to be the killer. So post-production, they had to bring her back in and film a death scene.
Yeah, for like one day.
They didn't even put a costume on. They just drug her. You just see her getting drug off with whoever's dragging her off camera. It was bad. They had a lot of red herrings. Like, is it Dewey? Is it this guy? Is it McDreamy, Detective McDreamy?
Is it Old Man Withers? Is it Josh LaRue? Is it Alex Vanova?
Who did you keep calling Patrick Dempsey? I can't remember.
McDreamy.
No, you said a different actor's name.
I didn't mean to call him Dylan McDermott or
Dylan
whatever.
Yeah.
Dylan McDermott was on another TV show, and I think he was in Steel Magnolias. He was like Julia Roberts' husband in that Steel Magnolias.
American Horror Story too. Yeah.
So here's another story. A 35-foot inflatable Michael Myers is on sale for $2,995 on eBay.
I'll be right back.
I gotta go buy something real quick. $3,000 for a 35-foot inflatable Michael Myers.
Will they take Crystal Pepsi as payment?
Probably. Did you have the $10 a piece divided by 3,000?
I saw a sign in Oklahoma said Myers Tax Service. You know.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I don't want to get audited by that place. You know. Myers Tax Service.
Wacky, waveable, arm flailing Michael Myers Tube Man. God, man. That's, you know, if you like Halloween, which we both do, and you're able to spend $3,000 on yard decorations, more power to you, man. You're doing way better than we are. Josh, The Munsters premiered on September 24th. So, I don't know, like 2 or 3 weeks ago in 1964. So 48 years ago, The Munsters premiered.
And now one's out. Yep.
Yeah. So The Munsters, The Munsters was only on for two seasons.
Yeah. Back
in the 60s. They had some TV movies. They had some reunion movies. I think they even tried to revive the show in the 70s.
Yeah.
I really, really, really like the original Munsters. I like the reunion movies. I like pretty much anything original Munsters. I tried to watch the new Rob Zombie Munsters movie on Netflix. I made it 16 minutes in. The tone is weird. He took the story. It's a prequel, but it's Herman is like trying to be in showbiz. Lily's like trying to meet guys on dating apps. It's just the tone. The jokes fall flat. Herman's behavior and demeanor is not at all like he was on the show. He's kind of goofy, but what made Herman such a popular character to me was he was just a good father. He was Frankenstein, but he didn't know he was Frankenstein.
Yeah. That's monster. Yeah.
He was just trying to be a good dad, and he was goofy and kind of dim-witted, but he had a really pure heart. And I don't know maybe I didn't give Rob Zombie's film enough of a chance, but it was cringy to me.
I'm gonna try it. Maybe he wanted it to be cringy and tongue-in-cheek. I don't know. Richard Breaker.
Yeah.
He's the mad scientist, Dr. Frankenstein or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm curious to see how he does, because I think he's a good actor. But I always figured Rob Zombie was a huge Munsters fan. I mean, he had a song called Dragula. You know, it's the name of their car.
Which is fine. But Rob Zombie has a very specific way of doing things, and
putting his wife and everything.
Well, it's fine. Whatever. Kevin Smith puts all of his friends and family in movies. I mean, if you're that successful and you can do it, that's Adam Sandler, all those guys. If you can do, like, if I was making movies, you'd be in all my movies, which is fine. But I don't know. He swung and missed as far as I'm concerned. So Slash Trax Action News, do I recommend it? No. Josh is going to watch it. He'll let you know what he thinks about it in the next episode. How about that?
Yeah, and I'm excited to see Hellraiser, the TV series. I thought the trailer looked wicked, and it might be a female Pinhead, but I thought she looked crazy, crazy good, and the plot seems like it's going to be pretty cool. Like, it's kind of like that new movie called Hide or Die or whatever it's called, and it's like you got to pass it on to survive. It seems like that's what they're doing with this. You have to pass the box on to live. So I'm going to check it out.
So it's like The Ring. You got to make a copy of the tape and have someone else watch it, or you die. It's the same exact idea.
That's what it seemed like. You know, you pass the limit configuration on or something. I'm going to check it out. But yeah.
So it's like the movie It Follows, where you have sex with somebody and they get the curse, the worst STD of all time. You have death following you the entire. Anyway,
you kiss out a limit configuration. Oh god!
Oh my god! The puzzle box right through my dick. I'll bring you pain and pleasure from STIs you've never seen before.
STDs.
STIs.
That'll put us in. We just got demonetized again.
Yeah, too bad. Yeah, they're gonna take. So they're gonna deduct, since we're demonetized. They're gonna take $0 from our $0 balance. Since we're talking about the female Pinhead, kind of causing a stir in the spooky universe, the new Scooby-Doo movie. This isn't even on my notes. I just saw it. So the new Scooby-Doo cartoon movie, Velma Dinkley, has officially been confirmed to be LGBTQK. I butchered that. To be, a lesbian. So that's big news for the Scooby-Doo.
We already know.
Jinkies. I don't care either way. I still love Scooby-Doo. It doesn't change anything. It's like great. It's like it's about time.
And there's an adult Scooby-Doo movie or TV show coming out soon with like decapitated heads, blood. Daphne. So.
And the chick from The Office is doing that one. I think we talked about that on a previous episode. But I was going to say real quick, there is an adult version of Scooby-Doo. It's available on Brazzers and Vivid Video. So adult videos have been making versions of Scooby-Doo for years now, Josh.
Oh, not like a porno, Alex. But it's curious to know that you knew all that.
What?
It's going to be on HBO. It's just going to be like a more mature.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Not a Misty Monday movie.
All right. And last spooky story of the episode, Josh. Now, this is not really horror-themed, but it is kind of spooky. This is true life. This is like a true life deal. So the Dahmer show on Netflix, the Jeffrey Dahmer show about the cannibal killer from Wisconsin.
It looks creepy.
Yeah, it's super popular on Netflix. I've tried to watch it. There's I've watched the first 2 of 10 episodes. It's okay. I can see how it's popular, but I don't know.
So many of them, though. There's so many Dahmer and stuff.
The first thought I had when the Dahmer thing came out on Netflix was like, the first thing I tweeted, and you can look at my Twitter, at Vandollar15 if you want to go back and fact check me. I'm like, we really need another Dahmer thing. I mean, we've literally had movies, docuseries, true crime podcasts, everything. I mean, there's so many Jeffrey Dahmer things that have been released. Like, my opinion on serial killers is like, we need to respect the victims and their families, and we also need to just let these bastards become like a distant memory. We need to almost erase these fuckers from existence, because all it does is, it's like some other
glorifying.
Yeah, some other weirdo's going to see it and be like, oh, I could, maybe eventually be popular and have shows could be made about me. It's like, no, we need to just erase these guys. Exactly. We don't need to celebrate these guys. So anyway, some guy, Taylor James, who runs the Cult Collectibles out of Vancouver, Canada, said he's willing to part with Jeffrey Dahmer's prison glasses for $150,000. And Dahmer was, of course, convicted of 16 murders that we know of. So, and he didn't just kill these men. He also ate them. So, yeah, he had a weird thing, Josh, where he didn't want people to leave him. He was a homosexual. He couldn't find a boy. He couldn't. It was the early 90s, so it was harder to be out and be who he was. And he just had this thing where he'd go and pick up men, but they'd leave after like a one-night stand, and he wanted them to like actually stay. And his way of keeping them was to kill them and to ingest their. Like, he described that he would eat them because they could never leave him at that point or something. I don't know.
They part of him forever.
Yeah. So, what do you think? You think that this Dahmer popularity and this guy trying to make $150,000 off this dirtbag is good or bad? What are your thoughts?
I think that's just as disgusting as somebody like trying to sell Nazi shit to a museum or something. Like,
Yeah, listen, that's terrible. And also, since we're on the topic of that, before we get into headlines, the Nazi thing. When people post stuff about that, or they say something and they try to put it in a positive light, it's like I'm like, okay, you're an idiot. Like, you are an idiot. I don't want to hear anything from your mouth.
Yeah, there's a certain group of people right now that are like glorifying a lot of the Nazi stuff, and it's scary, and it's
disgusting. It's disgusting. Racism at its highest form. And when people say that the Holocaust didn't happen, or when people say that Sandy Hook didn't happen, or all these terrible tragedies didn't happen, you are an idiot.
You are.
I don't want to hear your mouth. I don't want to see you say these stupid, uninformed, and unintelligent garbage that you have.
Brainwashed cattle. Brainwashed cattle.
Had enough of this crap.
Yes.
Let's get into some headlines. I need to watch my.
I don't have any head lice, but we can talk about it if you want.
All right. There's your second dad joke from Josh. If you have your bingo scorecard out. Headlines, Josh. It's official. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Mexican pizza is back at Taco Bell, and it is here to stay. So it's not just a temporary deal. It is officially back.
And it's better this time, right? Like they brought it back and did it different. I
had it this weekend. It was delicious. They actually cut it for me this time. The last time I had a Mexican pizza, they didn't cut it. I had to cut it myself. It was like that episode of Breaking Bad where the pizza wasn't cut at the party.
A fun fact, real quick, and I'll shut the hell up. The reason the pizza wasn't cut at the party, and the whole reason that scene was in Breaking Bad, is because a few episodes earlier, when Walt threw the pizza on top of the roof, a lot of viewers noticed that the pizza wasn't cut. It was just a round pizza that hadn't been cut. God. And they're like, and they went to the internet the pizza wasn't cut. They didn't even try to make it look like a delivery pizza. So they added the scene that you're talking about at Jesse's party, where they all talk about this local pizza chain that doesn't cut the pizza, so they pass the savings on. That was all just to get the internet people to shut the hell up about the pizza not being cut.
Well, maybe Taco Bell was trying to pass the savings on to me by not cutting it. And they, like this Mexican pizza, Josh, the box was sturdier. It had cheese on this bastard. The tomatoes were on there in all of its glory. It was a really, really good Mexican pizza. Best Mexican pizza I've had in 15 years, dude.
I heard that the last time they released it a few months ago,
they blew it.
It did not taste like the original, whatever, but this time they brought it back, and it's supposed to be just like it was back in the day.
Yeah, it was really, really good. The only thing that I wish they'd bring back on this bastard is in the 80s, they had olives and green onions on them as well, but they don't have that anymore. But you know what? I'll take the mid-90s Taco Bell Mexican pizza. So it's back. I'm stoked about it. If you guys didn't know about it, if you didn't know, you better ask somebody, dog, because the Mexican pizza is back, son. So, yeah, go to Taco Bell, get yourself a Mexican pizza. Josh, there's a new trend online right now, and it's pretty dangerous. So this is kind of in the Tide Pod genre of trends.
Oh, God.
Have you heard of sleepy chicken?
Yes.
Okay, kids and college-age kids, people are cooking chicken in full bottles of NyQuil and then eating it and then filming what happens after they make this sleepy chicken. The problem is, Josh, the problem isn't just eating the sleepy chicken, it's actually the cooking process, because when they cook it, the fumes from the NyQuil changes the properties of the medicine and it concentrates it to like even more like higher doses. So the FDA is like, listen, eating it's concern, first of all, because you're not supposed to eat something cooked in a full bottle of NyQuil. But the fumes is changing the chemical makeup of the NyQuil, and that is going to fuck you up too. So I don't know if you can die from this, but I would think it's not good. Because when I take one NyQuil, I'm knocked out, dude.
Who figured this out? You know, like, okay, Whippets aren't working. Tide Pods are kind of passe. Bath salts made me eat my neighbor's face off. What if I take chicken and just cook that fucker in NyQuil? That'll do it.
It's a thing, man. It's like a thing.
I believe you. I've seen the stories. It's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. There's another story. This isn't in the rundown, but I just saw it the other day. There's a thing going around where, and this is kind of sports related, there was this guy who, like, he was in a fishing contest, and in order to win the local fishing contest, he was stuffing the fish he was catching with rocks and other parts of fish.
Wow.
So people are just doing stupid shit all over the place right now.
Yes.
Like
yes.
the headlines is popping off, man. Yeah. So sleepy chicken, fishing competitors are stuffing their catches with other fish's body parts and rocks. They actually got caught. They got caught at the fishing contest, and they're in hot water, Josh. So maybe they had some sleepy chicken before they got in the boat, and they weren't thinking straight.
Man, my dad took me to a fishing tournament when I was a kid, Alex, and I saw the stack of prizes. And one of the prizes was the original Power Rangers Megazord, the Dino Megazord.
You got to win that fishing contest then.
Yeah, but we
Get
didn't.
out here until we win.
We didn't win. I was so disappointed. And then when we were done, they were handing out prizes to people, and they took that box down, and it was just an empty box anyways. It had like a couple reels inside of it. They just used the box to put the reels in, and they pulled it out, and it was like fishing reels. I would have been so disappointed if I had won that, and it was just a couple fishing reels.
You're the very first person to ever be catfished on the planet Earth, dude, but it was with the Megazord.
Contest.
You got fucked. My brother and dad, when I was growing up, never wanted to take me fishing because we'd go fishing, but before we went out fishing, we'd go to the store and get some corn dogs and some potato skins and some soda pops. I'd eat all my snacks on the way to the lake. And by the time the boat was in the water, I wanted to go home. I want to go home. I want to play video games. I want to see my mom. The only reason I wanted to go was to get the snacks. So I don't want a 4-hour commitment to get these goddamn mojos and chicken strips and corn dogs. But it was so, like, such a, probably a pain in the ass for them to have me bitching the entire time. I was not a big fisherman. I just wasn't interested in it. I would have rather had some sleepy chicken, I think, in the boat and just pass the fuck out while they were out there fishing.
I had a friend that I quit fishing with in our 20s because he wouldn't touch worms. I had to, like, bait his hook. And I'm like, dude, you're like 25 years old. A worm is not going to, oh my God. Like that was the last time. Anyways, go ahead.
All right, next headline for the show. NASA has discovered a nearby Earth-like exoplanet using the James Webb Telescope. So, hey, potential another place to live, Josh. We've discovered another Earth-like exoplanet. Sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah.
One big problem. It currently rains lava every night.
Yeah. Bowser lives there. That's the final planet in Super Mario Galaxy 3 coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Dude. It's like, man, this place is beautiful. Too bad it's fucking raining lava right now.
Oh, there goes my arm.
Lava.
Singing in the rain, just singing in the flow.
Yeah, they're like, man, could really go for some rain right now that wasn't lava. Hollywood is doing a biopic on the hit duo from the early 90s, Milli Vanilli, Josh. So, yeah, there's going to be a biopic. So that means the people playing Milli Vanilli, Fab and Rob, they're going to be lip-singing, pretending to be Milli Vanilli, who were also lip-singing to people in real life. So lip-singing on top of lip-singing on top of lip-singing. What are your thoughts, Josh?
They were in an episode of the cartoon Adventures in Super Mario Brothers 3. Wendy Koopa, Cutie Pie Koopa, the girl Koopa kid, demanded that they sing for her birthday. Milli Vanilli was in the episode singing, or maybe they weren't singing. I don't know. I think it's a waste of time. A documentary would be funner, just, But I'll tell you the one I'm really looking forward to, man, the biopic I'm looking forward to, is Weird, the Al Yankovic story, because it's got Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al. Weird Al picked him, wanted him. Daniel Radcliffe took accordion lessons from Weird Al and actually learned how to play the songs on the accordion from Weird Al. And the movie is a parody of biopics, but it does have some truth to it. But it is so Weird Al. You got to see the trailer for it. If you haven't seen it,
I did. Yeah.
Okay. It's not really. It's bullshit.
It's a farce.
Some of it's true, but it's kind of like somewhere between Walk Hard and Walking Tall. You know, somewhere between those two, but it's such a Weird Al thing. It's like a parody of biopics, and it looks like it's going to be fucking great. So, big Weird Al fan, just in general. Such a genuine dude. But Milli Vanilli, not so much.
two quick thoughts about Weird Al. First concert I ever went to live was Weird Al. He was on the Amish Paradise Tour in 1996. Went to a Weird Al concert probably like 6 years ago. Got shit on by a goose. It was an outdoor concert. And the towel that I was going to sit on for the concert, because it was outdoors, I ended up having to wipe the goose shit off me. And there was a little girl, like probably 4 years old at the time. She comes up to me after I wipe my neck off, and she pokes me on the shoulder, and she says, Mister, you still got a whole bunch of goose shit all over your neck. I'd never been more, I was so embarrassed. But looking back, it's super funny. I remember when I got shit on by the goose, though. Geese must just only eat grass, because it felt like someone took like took a clump of grass and just slammed me in the shoulder with grass, because it was like, thump.
You should share that story with Al on Twitter. Tag him and tell him. I think he would probably reply to that.
I have the picture of it. I have the picture of me going, and then you can see the goose shit on my shoulder, stained through my shoulder.
I think he would actually probably reply to that or say something about it.
We better get Al on the show to talk about that. What do you think?
That would be amazing. That would be fucking amazing.
Yeah, look out for that, Slashaholics. Weird Al coming soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And one real quick thing about Milli Vanilli. When they were performing and then the tape started to skip and then the jig was up, that was probably more anxiety causing than me having a buzzer beater and heading home and almost shitting my pants. Like, those are the two. And also, if you go to your friend's house and the water starts coming back up because you plug the toilet and you can't find a plunger anywhere, those are the 3 moments in your life where you'll be the most anxiety filled. Toilet overflowing, almost shitting your pants and making it to the toilet without crapping down your legs, and Milli Vanilli getting caught lip singing after they just won a fucking Grammy. Those are the 3 moments.
Before we do a funny thing, I wanted to tell you, Brendan Fraser has done a couple movies, and they watched this movie coming out called The Well. It's like a drama he did. Mm-hmm. He's really upset about Batgirl not getting released, by the way.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
But anyways, he gets a standing ovation at this screening of this new movie he's got coming out soon, this drama. And he's like in tears. He faced a lot of like inner demons and shit over the past decade when he's been kind of away from the screen. He's put on a lot of weight, but he's losing it. And he didn't know how much people cared about him, you know, and The Rock even came out and said, you know, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even have a movie career, probably.
The Mummy, yeah. Mummy Returns, or I can't remember. Scorpion King is where he made his debut.
In The Mummy Returns, he was the Scorpion King. It was really bad CGI, but it was him. But yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out there, rooting for Brendan Fraser. I'm happy to have him back, and I can't wait to see what he's done.
The Rock's one line in that movie was "Akun Machente." Akun Machente.
Horrible CGI whenever he was like the scorpion, half human, man scorpion.
That was that was early 2000s CGI. Like when the other CGI that comes to mind was Van Helsing. With
I went and saw that in theaters. I regret it.
Yeah, the CGI was pretty awful. A movie that didn't really have bad CGI, and this is a story that's not on the rundown. I just immediately thought about it. Constantine is getting a sequel, finally. The Keanu Reeves movie, Constantine. The original director's coming back. Keanu Reeves is coming back to play Constantine. I don't know if Shia LaBeouf is going to come back. He's kind of in and out of the Hollywood gig. He always does something that gets him on the outs, and then he kind of makes a comeback. But anyway, Constantine, the sequel is going to come out. I'm looking forward to that. And the CGI in that film was actually really good. So
I love Constantine, the movie, and I also enjoy the TV show. And the guy from the TV show joined the cast of Legends of Tomorrow as Constantine and did a crossover with other DC characters. if they're doing a sequel to the original, I would love to see a little more lore from the actual comics, because there's a lot of cool stuff there, and maybe even like a multiverse situation, where the other Constantine could show up, because he's I don't know his name, but he plays the character like comic wise really good, like comic book wise.
Yeah, and since we're in the multiverse, you're going there. Let's just bring Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in. Spider-Man, and then Spider-Pig can also be in it. And yeah, Josh, probably not going to happen. Probably not a multiverse Constantine situation, but I'm pulling for you, pal. You know what else I'm pulling for? The last story of the show.
All right, what do you got?
I told this to you off screen, and you kind of called bullshit on it. You said, "Well, if it's true, like if it happened."
If it's true.
So someone found a bottle of Mountain Dew from 1992, and under the cap was the Super Nintendo. You win a Super Nintendo. Now I'm gonna have to say allegedly now, because Josh poo-pooed all over it.
I tell you what, I'm gonna check with our we have an analyst for these stories.
Yeah.
His name is Walter Snopes.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's actually Walter Willie White Snopes, WWW Snopes.
Let me tell the story real quick.
Yeah.
So before you fucking fact check the story, can I tell the story?
Yes, tell the story.
All right. So apparently the guy finds the Mountain Dew cap, says free Super Nintendo underneath it. He like tweeted about it or sent it into Super Nintendo and Mountain Dew. They honored it, sent him a Super Nintendo with games and a Wii and a bunch of merchandise. If it's true, pretty cool. And I saw the picture. Bottle was beat to shit, but it did have the free Super Nintendo on the cap. Yeah. Pretty cool.
That is amazing. If it really happened, that's freaking amazing. From everything I see, it looks like it's true.
Legit.
Yeah, I mean, this could happen for like people that played McDonald's Monopoly games over the years. Except there's a documentary where you find out this family.
Yeah.
Was like stealing all the big prizes.
Yeah, there was like the guy who was in charge of like moving the pieces from like the bank vault to like wherever, was like giving the pieces out to his family members and friends and stuff, and taking parts of the prize money. That's
awesome though. That's really cool. That's a cool story, man, about the Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. I wonder if they brought him one like in a box, or if they just gave him like the mini Super Nintendo that they put out a couple years ago.
I don't know.
But the fact that they gave him a Wii. Oh wait, no, because this happened back when the Wii came out. This was like 2007, 2008.
I'm gonna assume they gave him like an actual Super Nintendo, probably still in the box.
Back then.
And I'm sure at Nintendo they probably had some back stock.
Oh yeah. So that's really fucking cool.
Realistically. Also, real quick before we end the show, when I was a kid, I had a good friend, and his first cousin got a Pepsi cap, and they were having the NBA Finals, Pepsi cap thing. So if you get the cap, and it says a certain team and a certain number of games, you're gonna win like $100,000. Okay, so back then, most of the caps were shitters. So you'd get like Clippers win the finals in 6. Grizzlies win the finals in whatever. All the crappy teams, you get all those. His cousin got a Chicago Bulls, wins the finals in 4. Okay? So the Bulls were the best team. They had Jordan, Pippen, Rodman. They won 72 games that season. They're playing the Supersonics. So if they sweep the Supersonics, this dude's getting $100,000 or whatever the prize was. The Bulls ended up winning in 6. But there was a point, like I think they were up 3-0, where he's one win away from winning this huge prize because he got an actual decent Pepsi, tab or whatever. But I remember in live time seeing the tab, knowing he had the cap, like he's counting the money. He's already figuring out what he's going to do with it. He's going to buy some nuclear weed from his dealer. He's going to make some sleepy chicken. He's going to take some of those THC taps you took by accident. He's getting an adult Happy Meal. He's going to go fight a fucking nuclear grizzly. He's got all these things going on. But guess what? They won in 6, so he didn't win the money, and he didn't have a chance. So whatever. Josh, that's the end of the show, dude. Got anything to say before we wrap this sucker up?
Be sure to, if you enjoy what we do here, enjoy the books and the shows and everything, go to the Patreon. links right there on the screen and in the description. We also have a PayPal QR code if you just want to make a tip to the show. You can go to the community tab on the channel and find the QR code there. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Be sure to check out the season premiere of Slash Trax Scream 3. It's up on the channel, and I just released the prologue, chapter 1 and 2 of Ash versus Freddy. Freddy versus Ash, sorry, a fan novel. Not to be mistaken with Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. It's just Freddy and Ash. I think that's about it. Just please be excellent to each other. It's what the world needs right now with all the craziness. Good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow. Say good night, Alex.
Good night, Alex. Mahalo, dog.
Josh and Alex got the groove. Fun facts making the headlines move. Sports and horror keep it tight. Warrior fuel for the fight. Pro wrestling on the screen. Spin the facts like a dream. Headlines rocking day and night. Slash Trax team out of sight. Jumpin' Jeff says, yep, alright. Tony laughs with pure delight. Slash Trax action, news and gear. Every story crystal clear. Tune in for your daily dose. Josh and Alex coming close. From pro sports to ghastly scenes, they're the newscast kings and queens.